research.
Research is a major element used when doing anything in a subject. In media, it's the start of a project, and when done effectively, can be what makes the movie a success or a failure. Research is comprised of two main sections: data collection. This is the first step of research as you collect specific data, for instance, collecting notes on a film. And then analysis. This is when you analyse the data you've collected, so creating a textual analysis from the notes you produce. Different types of research. There are four main types of research: primary, secondary, quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative and qualitative can both be primary or secondary research.
Primary research is first-hand original research which you do yourself to collect data, and is usually done after collecting secondary research data, and can also be done in many different ways, like questionnaires, interviews and surveys. One of the disadvantages of primary research is that you can't always find the information you're looking for, and it can sometimes be expensive to prepare and carry out. Secondary research is the data that hasn't been collected firsthand, but rather searched for. This can be information found on the internet, articles in books and magazines, and documentaries on the internet. You should always source your data if it is secondary, and one of the disadvantages of secondary research is that it may not always be 100% reliable.
Quantitative research is data that has been produced with little participation and looking at the overall quantity of the data. This is more the what of information. This can be collected through surveys that are made around numbers or vague interviews, e.g., what is your favourite horror film, or what do you like about horror films? Qualitative research is data that has been produced through active participation and rather looking at the quality of the information. This is the why or how or when of information going into more depth. This can be collected through fieldwork such as interviews and detailed questionnaires, e.g., why do you like horror films, or when is your favourite time to watch horror films? Different things to research. There are a key number of things to research, especially media. The three main elements are market research, audience and consumer behaviour.
Market research. This is when you research what has already been made. You collect opinions of what is good and bad, what products are used, and why they use them. In media, this can be creating a collection of textual analyses on movies that have already been made, or questionnaires asking people what makes a good movie and what makes a bad movie. Audience awareness is finding out what different consumers are aware of and what different products are around. Different consumers can be grouped by age, gender. In media, this is finding out target audiences, what's the best age group for your genre of film, and the types of people that are willing to watch it. For instance, a horror film is aimed at teenagers or over 18s, couples and groups of friends. Consumer behaviour, on the other hand, is how people would purchase or consume the products. Discovering why people buy certain products and also the factors that can affect consumer behaviour, just like gender and age. In media, this is why audience watch films, for instance, for when developing a horror film, looking at common fears and why people are scared of them. What about films different consumers like and dislike about films, and why they feel this? Consumer behaviour can be interpreted differently, as it is what the consumer's opinions are.
Techniques of research. When it comes to secondary research, there are various ways to collect data. You can use both the internet and the library to collect the data you're looking for. There's a lot of information on the internet, so it's important that you define your search and find websites that contain legitimate information. To start with, you can use search engines such as Google, Ask and Bing. There are various pages you can research from web, images and videos. Now, when using a search engine, a lot can come up, so it's important to be as detailed as you can, but also not put in so much detail that nothing comes up. You can use the advanced search which allows you to search keywords and phrases. This is especially useful if you're trying to find a specific article or website about your topic. When finding data in a library, it's important that you understand how a library is set out. Books and magazines tend to be numbered using the Dewey Decimal System, which organises books in a specific order, which makes them easier to find and then return. How this works is...
Someone just went for a wee.
How this works is that there are genres which are numbered, ranging from 000 to 999. So for instance, photography would be classified under 770, so range from 770 to 779. Now, once you've found the correct classification, the books would then be sorted via subgenres, e.g. digital photography would fall under 775. The books are then arranged in alphabetical order of the author. When researching, you can also produce information trails. This is when the information you find then leads into new information. They are useful for tracing back your data and seeing how ideas develop. There is a corresponding path starting from the vague knowledge of the beginning through to the final conclusion. It's also a way of tracking progression, and a third party can follow this trail and understand how you came to your conclusion. So you start with what you want to research, e.g. the top 10 horror films. You then search the best horror films, gathering data through both primary and secondary research. This could be searching top horror films according to IMDb and other trustworthy sites, and doing in-depth questionnaires of what horror films people enjoy and why they enjoy them. Then using your information, you come up with a conclusion of the best horror films from the data you've collected.
So as you can see, there are many different ways to conduct your research. So remember, always use primary and secondary research.
And quantitative and qualitative.
And don't forget about the audience awareness and behaviour.
This has been Hannah and
Lisa!
giving you research. Dun, 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 dun. Skadoosh.
Skadoosh.